Folks, we're here today to debate a bill that's addressing one of the most pressing issues that affects Illinois workers, and that is a $4.5 billion debt in the state's unemployment insurance trust fund. Now, this debt didn't just arise today. It started 2 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic when the governor's stay-at-home order required all non-essential businesses across the state of Illinois to close. And those workers at those businesses had no choice but to file for unemployment benefits. We also knew this debt was coming. At the time we began, we had a positive $1.2 billion balance in the state's unemployment fund, and we watched as that quickly deteriorated to a $4.5 billion deficit. We raised the alarm about this in previous years. Over a year ago, we were bringing a spotlight to this issue, warning of the dire consequences of inaction, of the dire consequences of delay. So you might ask, what happens when our unemployment insurance trust fund is in debt? Two things. One, a major tax increase on every job in the state of Illinois. And two, a benefit reduction for every worker in the state of Illinois. It's a lose-lose scenario. Taxes go up, benefits go down, because the fund is in debt. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had some tool, some resource we could dedicate to avoid that lose-lose scenario, and instead turn it into a win-win? Great news, we do. We have a $6.9 billion balance that we've received from the federal government from the American Recovery Plan Act. $6.9 billion balance in the fund today. You can check the status of it yourself. And we're talking about a $4.5 billion debt. Yet this bill only dedicates $2.7 billion towards that debt, leaving us nearly $2 billion in the hole still. The purpose of COVID relief funds from the federal government was to provide relief for states who experienced the negative financial impact that the pandemic caused. A one-time solution for a one-time problem. We have those funds today still. We have the ability to solve that today still. We talked about it last year during budget debate. You might not remember, the debate only lasted 10 minutes, and it was at midnight on the last day of session. But we asked, did last year's budget pay a dime towards this debt? And the answer was no. And in the intervening time, every day that's gone by, every hour that's ticked off the clock, we've incurred more and more and more interest penalties, tens of millions of dollars that we've wasted because of our inaction. But the good news is that can stop today. We can solve this one-time problem once and for all. We can use the relief dollars that came from the federal government to solve the problem we face today. We can take the COVID hit out of unemployment for the future. This bill leaves a debt in the unemployment system. The only way to close that debt is to raise taxes and to cut benefits. We have the opportunity to vote for full funding of the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. We have the opportunity to do that today. We'll offer the amendment. Just say the word. Let's not put Illinois workers and Illinois jobs under the microscope of a tax increase and a benefit reduction as the worldwide economy heads towards what likely to be a recession. This is the last thing that we need for Illinois jobs, the last thing we need for Illinois workers. Vote no on this amendment, and let's adopt one that solves the problem once and for all.